right in front of Mount Vernon City Hall. We have an exclusive today. You just filed a lawsuit against the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon. Can you tell us about it, please?
Look, Mount Vernon is going through a lot, and we need to be heard. We, the people of the city, need our public officials, especially the City Council, to hear us when we say enough is enough. Mayor Patterson-Howard presented a budget increase of 8% on the taxes, and it's going to crush the middle class. The City Council has an obligation to hear from the public on the budget. But guess what? They shut the public out of the public hearing on the 8% tax increase presented by Mayor Patterson-Howard. So, as one of those members of the public that tried to give the City Council options to reconsider on how to keep the Mount Vernon Animal Shelter open, how to reopen the armory that was shut down for seniors in our community, and also stop this 8% tax hike. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to have anything to do with the public. They basically told the public that they're not going to listen to anything we have to say. So the only resort that the taxpayers have in Mount Vernon is to file a lawsuit grieving the fact that the City Council violated the city charter and did not allow the public to weigh in on the budget, as they are obligated to hear from us and address our concerns before they move the budget forward.
So what is the next step, Mayor?
The next step is the city has to respond to the Article 78 filing. It asks the question of, what is being done about the state audit that found that $25 million was paid out by unauthorized wire transfers by former City Controller Deborah Reynolds, confirming a problem that was flagged in a 2019 public report by Mount Vernon's Inspector General, a report that was on the city's website but has since been taken down. And it goes on to ask what happened to the grant monies for the Mount Vernon Animal Shelter, why is it being closed, and why is the senior center and soup kitchen at the Armory also being closed when the annual estimate, the tax increase, is being increased by 8%. Mayor Patterson-Howard has increased taxes each year she's been in office. And when you add up all the tax increases that she has proposed and put into effect, it's 18%. That doesn't take into account the garbage tax, the water tax, the sewer tax, inflation. It's over 30% in taxes from last year alone. So what is she going to tax next? What I know is the City Council must hear from the people. We have to weigh in on this budget, and they have to consider the options of, keeping the animal shelter open, moving to get the armory back open, the senior center open, and the soup kitchen back in its place. And they just can't say we're not going to hear anything. They cannot ignore us. It's against our city charter, and it's a betrayal of their oath of office.
Now, do you know if the city has been served or notified of this lawsuit?
The city received communication from our attorney, and we look forward to having a dialogue about this in court.
Now, since we are talking about certain issues, we need to clear some information that you might be the best person to give us the right information in regards to the shelter. We are hearing that the animals might be euthanized soon. Do you have anything on that, sir?
Well, this is part of the reason why I'm filing a lawsuit, because the Patterson-Howard administration has been nothing but shady and secretive on anything and everything when it comes to the Mount Vernon Animal Shelter. They have not kept their word for one moment. And it's a real disgrace that the animal shelter in the first place was left to rot, even though the administration got over $42 million from President Biden. I mean, you couldn't find a few bucks to hire an exterminator and turn the heat back on? It's inhumane how they're being treated. And to try and blame people like me who, own and support rescues, I mean, it's unconscionable. But whatever the case, it looks like that's the fate of the innocent rescues that are at the shelter. If they don't get adopted, they will face euthanization, from what I understand.
No,
and it's not a choice that I know I would have never made, but it's a choice that you can see how this administration is treating innocent rescues. It's terrible.
Now, I must make it clear that I've been getting emails, sir, all the way from Canada. They heard about what's going on here in the city of Mount Vernon.
Right.
People are upset because animals might be euthanized.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah. I contacted the Mount Vernon City Hall, spoke with the communication director, told them about the information that it's circulating. They told me that that was not true. I said, can you please send me a press release saying what you just told me, that this is not true? They told me they were going to send it to me. They never did. I inquired about it, and they said, well, we put out a flyer saying how you can get an animal. I said, that's not what we spoke about. We spoke about euthanizing those animals. Is it true or is it not true? We haven't heard from the City Hall.
I mean, look, once upon a time, you heard about death panels in Congress. You have a Death Star right here in City Hall. All they do is talk, and look at their actions. It's a death sentence to these animals that are innocent. They deserve a home, and all they've done is just run roughshod over all process. They've not included the public at all whatsoever, even though they had every chance. But guess what? The public has a chance to see the mayor on the 10th of January. She's going to be at First Presbyterian Church at 199 North Columbus Avenue on Tuesday, January 10th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I will certainly be there, and I'm looking forward to hearing what the mayor has to say about the fate of the animals that she unnecessarily is treating cruelly. And what I do know is my lawsuit seeking the Board of Ethics. For a second, look at the options available to us. $25 million of Mount Vernon's money was wire transferred out unauthorized by the former controllers. And this mayor and the current controller, they know where it went. How come they're not getting the money back? And it raises questions as to, do they know what's going on? Do they know what they're doing? Are they involved? Are they covering for people? Who knows? But we know that the City Council is our only chance at this moment to ask them to do their job, and as part of the budget, order that actions be taken to get that money back, because then it solves our budget problems. We don't have to raise taxes. We can reduce taxes by holding the people that took Mount Vernon's money accountable. But for some reason, they don't think that's important. And this is all from a state audit that was issued in January of 2022. So I know that the question is asked, it needs to be answered, and we're bringing them to court to force them to answer these questions as part of the budget process. And one more point, the animal shelter could be saved if the mayor were to have a smaller travel budget. Some of the mayor's travel budget could go toward fixing problems at the animal shelter. It doesn't cost that much to make sure the heat runs reliably in the facility. So I know that it's a disgrace that the choice has been made, that who cares about the innocent lives of animals that deserve a home and care since 1974 in Mount Vernon. We're talking about reversing a decision 50 years ago. Only the Supreme Court did that with Roe v. Wade. Now this mayor did that with the animal shelter. She took it away. It's a disgrace.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.